You walk through your house on a Saturday morning and start counting. A bottle of weed killer in the garage, a jug of window cleaner under the sink, fabric freshener in the laundry room, ice packs in the freezer, air fresheners plugged into the walls, garden fertilizer in the shed, fire starters by the grill, furniture polish in the cabinet. A dozen products, a dozen purchases, a dozen things people now buy without thinking twice. Then you think about your grandfather. Not the version from photographs, the real man. The one who lived through years when money was tight, nothing was thrown away, and every dollar had a job to do. And suddenly something uncomfortable becomes obvious. Grandpa didn't buy most of these things. He made them, for free. Not because he was poor, not because stores didn't exist, because he saw no reason to pay for something he could make himself in 10 minutes using materials already sitting around the house. The average American household now spends hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars every year on products that earlier generations never purchased at all. They weren't budgeting for them. They weren't comparison shopping for them. They weren't waiting for holiday sales to buy them. They simply made them. And the strange thing is that many of those homemade versions work just as well as the products sitting on store shelves today. Sometimes better. Somewhere between the 1950s and today, an entire generation of practical household knowledge quietly disappeared. The recipes disappeared. The tricks disappeared. The habits disappeared. And in their place came an endless stream of products, subscriptions, specialty solutions, and convenience purchases. Most people never notice the change because it happens slowly. One product at a time. One purchase at a time. One generation at a time. My grandfather used to say something that sounded ridiculous when I was young. If somebody is selling you a solution, first ask yourself what people did before the solution was sold. At the time, I thought it was old man wisdom. Now I'm not so sure. Because when you start looking closely at the things older generations made themselves, you discover that many of them haven't become obsolete. They've simply been forgotten. Today, we're going to walk through 12 things Grandpa made for absolutely nothing that many people are overpaying for right now. Some will save you a few dollars, some will save you hundreds, and a few might leave you wondering why anyone started buying them in the first place. Let's begin with one of the simplest examples, and one that probably costs the average homeowner more money every year than they realize. Number 1. Weed killer. Walk through any home improvement store and you'll find entire aisles dedicated to weed control. Sprays, concentrates, ready-to-use bottles, special formulas for driveways, sidewalks, and fence lines. The average homeowner can spend a surprising amount each year fighting weeds. Grandpa's version cost almost nothing. A gallon of white vinegar, a little dish soap, sometimes a handful of salt for areas where nothing else was meant to grow. That was it. No patented formula, no colorful label, just household ingredients doing a job people understood long before weed killers became a major business. The reason it worked is fairly simple. The vinegar damages the weed's outer tissues and pulls moisture from the leaves. The soap helps the mixture stick to the plant instead of running off. Within hours, many weeds begin to wilt. By the next day, the difference is often easy to see. Now, Grandpa understood the limits too. This wasn't magic. Deep-rooted weeds could come back. If they did, he treated them again. He wasn't looking for a miracle solution. He was looking for a practical one. And for decades, that was enough. Number 2. Fabric freshener. Look under the average kitchen sink, and you'll probably find at least one bottle, often several. Fabric spray for couches. Fabric spray for bedding. Fabric spray for clothing. Fabric spray for the car. Different scents. Different labels. Same basic job. Make something smell fresh again. Grandpa never bought any of them. He made his own. Usually water, a little baking soda, and sometimes lemon or herbs for fragrance. Simple, cheap, and surprisingly effective. The reason is that most household odors aren't caused by a lack of perfume. They're caused by moisture, cooking smells, pet odors, smoke particles, and everyday buildup. Baking soda has been used for generations because it helps neutralize many of those odors rather than simply covering them up. Grandpa's generation understood something many people forget today. A room isn't cleaner because it smells stronger. The goal wasn't to create a scent. The goal was to remove an odor. For everyday jobs, a stale couch, a winter coat, a guest room that hasn't been used in weeks, a homemade spray usually handled the task just fine. No monthly purchases. No collection of half-empty bottles. Just a reusable spray bottle and ingredients already sitting in the kitchen. Number 3. Garden fertilizer. Every spring, garden centers fill up with bags and bottles promising bigger vegetables, brighter flowers, and healthier plants. Tomato fertilizer, rose fertilizer, lawn fertilizer, vegetable fertilizer. Special formulas for nearly everything that grows. Grandpa bought very little of it. Instead, he looked at what was already available. Coffee grounds, eggshells, wood ash, grass clippings, leaves, kitchen scraps. Things most people throw away without a second thought. To Grandpa, those weren't waste products. They were future fertilizer. The old compost pile was one of the most valuable parts of the property. Food scraps became compost. Leaves became plant food. Yard waste became healthier soil. The process wasn't complicated, but it worked. Now, a backyard compost pile won't replace every commercial fertilizer program. Some plants have specific needs. Large farms operate on a different scale. But for the average home garden, Grandpa's approach produced healthy soil and healthy plants for generations. And it did so without requiring a trip to the store every spring. That's the kind of solution Grandpa appreciated. Simple, practical, and nearly free. Number 4. Fire starters. Today, people buy fire starters for fireplaces, wood stoves, grills, and camping trips. Wax cubes, starter sticks, chemical blocks, quick light products. The packaging changes, but the job remains the same. Help a fire get started. Grandpa usually made his own: dryer lint, cardboard, newspaper, sawdust, leftover candle wax, materials that would otherwise be thrown away. One common method was simple. Pack dryer lint into an empty egg carton and pour a little melted wax over the top. Once hardened, each section became a ready-made fire starter. Reliable, cheap, and made almost entirely from things already sitting around the house. Grandpa liked solutions that solved two problems at once: less waste, less spending. That way of thinking appeared everywhere in his household. Nothing useful was discarded until it had done every job it possibly could. And that's exactly what made many of these old methods so effective. Number 5. Furniture polish. Look under enough kitchen sinks, and you'll eventually find a bottle dedicated to cleaning or polishing wood. Sometimes several. One for shine, one for conditioning, one for restoration, one for protection. Grandpa's version usually came from the kitchen. A little oil, a little vinegar, sometimes a squeeze of lemon juice. Applied with a soft cloth. That was the entire system. The goal wasn't to create a showroom shine. The goal was to keep the wood clean and in good condition. Many pieces of furniture survived for generations using methods very similar to this. Dining tables, dressers, rocking chairs, bookshelves, pieces built to last and maintained with simple ingredients. Now, not every modern finish responds the same way. Some specialty surfaces require manufacturer recommendations. But for ordinary household furniture, Grandpa's approach worked remarkably well. A few pantry ingredients, 5 minutes of effort, and one less specialty product to buy. Exactly the kind of trade Grandpa would have taken every time. Number 6. Reusable ice packs. Most families own at least one. Many own several. An ice pack for sore muscles, an ice pack for headaches, an ice pack for minor injuries, an ice pack for bumps and bruises. Grandpa rarely bought them. He made them. The method was as simple as it sounds: ice wrapped in a towel, a cloth bag, or later, a reusable container kept in the freezer. The reason was straightforward. The body doesn't care whether the cold comes from a commercial gel pack or a homemade solution. Cold is cold. Grandpa wasn't concerned with fancy packaging. If someone twisted an ankle working in the yard or came home sore after a long day, the solution was already sitting in the freezer waiting to be used. And for everyday aches, strains, and minor injuries, that's often all that matters. Now, modern gel packs certainly have advantages. Some stay flexible, some stay cold longer. But Grandpa wasn't interested in convenience products when a practical solution already existed. If someone needed cold therapy, he could have it ready in less than a minute. No special purchase required. No extra money spent. Just another example of a problem solved with what was already available. Number 7. Air fresheners. Walk through a modern home and you'll probably find several. A spray in the bathroom. A plug-in in the hallway. A candle in the living room. A diffuser in the bedroom. Different products. Different scents. Same basic purpose. Make the house smell fresh. Grandpa's solution was usually much simpler. Open a window. Let fresh air move through the house. And when a little extra help was needed, he used what was already available. Orange peels. Lemon peels. Cinnamon sticks. Fresh herbs. A small pot of water simmering on the stove. The goal wasn't to overwhelm the room with fragrance. It was to remove stale odors and replace them with something pleasant. Grandpa's generation understood something many people forget today. A room doesn't become cleaner because it smells stronger. The source of the odor still matters. Good ventilation. Regular cleaning. Fresh air. Those were the first solutions. The pleasant scent came afterward. Now, modern air fresheners are certainly convenient, but they also create another recurring expense. Grandpa preferred solutions that cost little or nothing, and for generations, those simple methods worked just fine. Number 8. Glass cleaner. Windows, mirrors, glass tables. Shower doors. Modern homes contain more glass than ever before, which helps explain why entire shelves are devoted to cleaning it. Sprays for streaks, sprays for shine, sprays for crystal clear results. Grandpa's version came from the pantry. Water, a little vinegar, a soft cloth. That was usually enough. The reason it worked is surprisingly simple. Vinegar helps loosen mineral deposits, fingerprints, and everyday residue. The cloth removes the dirt. The drying step prevents streaks. No complicated chemistry required. For generations, families cleaned windows and mirrors this way because it produced the result they actually wanted. Clean glass. Now, certain modern surfaces may require special care. Electronic screens and specialty coatings can be different. But for ordinary household windows and mirrors, Grandpa's method remained popular for one reason. It worked, and it did so without adding another bottle to the cleaning cabinet. Number 9. Mulch. Every spring, homeowners spend good money covering their garden beds. Bag after bag of mulch, sometimes hundreds of dollars worth. Grandpa often collected his for free. Leaves, grass clippings, pine needles, straw, wood chips, materials that naturally accumulated around the property. To him, these weren't yard waste. They were future mulch. Every autumn was an opportunity to collect next year's mulch. What many people viewed as a cleanup chore, Grandpa viewed as free material for the garden. He understood that covered soil holds moisture better, grows fewer weeds, and experiences less stress during hot weather. Nature already provided the material. The only question was whether people recognized its value. Today, many homeowners rake leaves into piles, throw them away, and then purchase mulch a few months later. Grandpa would have found that difficult to understand. The leaves were already serving the same purpose. Now, commercial mulch certainly has advantages. It looks uniform. It can be delivered in large quantities. But from a practical standpoint, many of the benefits can be achieved using materials already present on the property. Less waste, less spending, and healthier soil. Exactly the kind of trade Grandpa liked. Number 10. Drain cleaner. Few household products create repeat customers quite like drain cleaner. The sink slows down. A bottle gets purchased. The problem returns. Another bottle gets purchased. Grandpa often approached the problem differently. Before reaching for chemicals, he reached for simple tools: hot water, a plunger, a drain snake, basic maintenance. And when extra help was needed, baking soda and hot water were often enough for minor buildup. The goal wasn't to pour stronger chemicals down the pipe. The goal was to remove the blockage. Most household drain problems come from the same handful of causes: hair, grease, soap residue, food particles. Grandpa understood that. Now, severe clogs sometimes require professional help. He knew that too. But many everyday problems were solved without buying specialty products. A little patience, a simple tool, and one less expense added to the shopping list. Number 11. Insect repellent. Every summer, millions of people buy sprays, candles, cartridges, and specialty products to keep insects away. Grandpa often relied on simpler methods: mint around the porch, lavender near sitting areas, cedar in sheds and closets, citronella where it would grow. The exact plants varied by region, but the idea remained the same. Use what nature already provides. Many of these plants served more than one purpose. They looked attractive around the home, smelled pleasant, and helped make outdoor spaces more comfortable during the warmer months. People had been discouraging insects long before aerosol cans existed. Grandpa's generation simply continued many of those practices. Now, natural repellents aren't always as long-lasting as modern commercial products. Some situations require stronger protection. But the principle is still worth noticing. Many households repeatedly purchase solutions that earlier generations often created themselves. And nowhere is that mindset more obvious than in the final item on our list. Number 12. Kindling. To many people today, scraps are just trash. A cardboard box, small branches, wood offcuts, dry twigs from the yard. Things to throw away. Grandpa saw them differently. He saw tomorrow's kindling. Nothing useful was discarded until it had done every job it could do. That habit extended far beyond firewood. It shaped the way Grandpa looked at tools, materials, and everyday household items throughout his entire life. The cardboard helped start fires. The branches heated the stove. The scraps fueled the grill. Small savings by themselves, meaningful savings when repeated for decades. And that's really what this entire list has been about. Not a particular recipe, not a secret product, a way of thinking. Grandpa looked at ordinary materials and saw potential. The old knowledge was never lost. It was simply replaced. And once you start noticing that, you'll begin seeing opportunities all around your own home. The question isn't how much Grandpa saved on any single item. The question is how much he saved by thinking this way every single day of his life. Modern consumers are often encouraged to look at the same materials and see waste. One mindset creates purchases. The other creates solutions. And that simple difference may explain why earlier generations were able to stretch a dollar so much further than most people imagine. The old folks didn't have a secret formula for saving money. They simply learned to see value where other people saw waste. That mindset filled gardens, maintained homes, stretched paychecks, and helped families get through hard times for generations. And even today, it may be one of the most useful things Grandpa left behind.